Greetings and salutations. I would like to welcome everybody back and some of you for the first time to the Full Sport Press Podcast, the premier sports podcast for the consummate sports fan. And this is your one-stop shop for all sports-related news and topics. I am Jay Ho.
Boy, Big Jeff.
Weezy in the building. Say what's up. We said.
What it do? What it do? What it do? What's going on?
Coach Lock back in the building. Say what's up. Cat.
Muted.
Mm-hmm. Muted, Big Doc.
We back with another one. Man.
You was muted the whole time, Big Doc.
I know. But we back with another one, though. We back with another one.
Follow with the punches, baby. Follow with the punches today.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, for sure. Most definitely, man. Episode 328. We are handing out the 2019-2020 NBA Regular Season Awards.
FSP style.
Always FSP style.
Better damn know it.
And you better damn believe it, man. Let's kick it off. Best of the week, Jeff. What you got?
Best of the week. We finally going to get the Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia fight at welterweight. Super happy about that. If you remember, Errol Spence was supposed to fight Danny Garcia earlier this year before Corona hit. But Errol Spence was in a one-car wreck at DWI he had. So to see him back up and moving around and ready to fight again at championship level is always good to see. Shout out to Errol Spence, man.
Most definitely. Coach Locke, what you got?
Man, NCAA is going to let college athletes wear custom patches on their uniform to honor the causes they support. They will be able to have a patch on the front that will be like 2 1/4 inch patch, and it can be anything to commemorate names, mascot, nicknames, logos, and marks. And then the second one will be on the back, and it's where they will traditionally wear their name. They can do something like to celebrate or memorialize somebody or an event, kind of like how the NBA is doing, the WNBA is doing.
Sure. Great set. I can't believe college is catching up with that, man. That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Weezy, what you got?
My best of the week, man, was to see the Minnesota Lynx start from Nashville, man. Oh my God.
Her name is Crystal Dangerfield.
That's her name, Crystal Dangerfield.
Crystal Dangerfield, man. Her first game was big time, man. I finally follow WNBA now, man. I follow WNBA now.
Good job, man.
Yeah, so you know.
Good for you, buddy.
Good for you.
Yeah, man. She got her first start yesterday, so that's good, man.
I'm hot. Sabrina got hurt too.
That was a big, man. We're gonna talk about that. My best of the week is Def Comedy Jam, man. Amazon Prime has every episode of Def Comedy Jam available, all 7 seasons. This is my best find of the entire quarantine. Weezy, have you ever watched Def Comedy Jam before?
Back in the day, but not really. Not for real.
Every major comic was on Def Comedy Jam. It's perfect, man. Super nostalgic, looking at the outfits, seeing some of the people who were big celebrities then. Yeah, man, it's just cool to watch, man. Check it out on Amazon Prime. Must watch. For sure.
I grew up more on Comic View. On BET.
Comic View.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What was the catchphrase on Comic View? I'm about to bring out the next comedian.
You're about to say, Joe Torre.
Yeah, but is he funny?
Yeah.
Nah.
I love it. Nah.
There was so many hosts on there. It was there with Ricky Smiley.
Yeah.
So different ones.
Some more was a host on there, wasn't she?
Yeah. If you won the contest, you hosted the next year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I could dig that. Worst of the week, Weezy, what you got?
Worst of the week with me is I was about a mile out on my bike, and I caught a flat going uphill. That's like I lost, like JG said, I lost 10 bricks. Had to crawl back, baby. Had to walk back. I had to walk back to the house, baby. It was rough.
You fixed the flat.
I ain't fixed shit. I was cussing and everything on the way back house. You know, talking to myself. I was mad.
Hey, at least it didn't start raining.
Nah, it didn't start raining, but it was hot as hell, Coach. It was hot as hell.
Are you gonna fix the flat?
Yeah, I'm gonna fix it eventually. I'm mad right now, but I'm gonna fix it. Can you buy tires that don't get flat?
No. Yeah, it's gonna cost you.
Might cost you a little. Might cost you a lot.
Don't cost you. Don't cost you. Worst of the week, Locke. What you got?
Man, 49er great, former
Oh, shit,
Stubblefield.
Law. Come on, man. You was doing good, man.
Hey, man, it's bad when you see your team greats do stuff like that, man. That's terrible, man. You know, he's been convicted of rape, man. I don't know what he out here doing, man. Why? What are you doing,
Woo!
Dana Stubblefield, man? Come on, man.
Oh man,
Relax. What's wrong with him, man? I
what's
don't
wrong
know.
with his ass? He's
All
telling you what's wrong with his ass. His ass is crazy. He's telling you what's wrong with him.
right. And listen, man, there ain't no laughing matter, man. Listen, I don't know what he doing, man, but he need to stop it.
Is the world a better place without his ass? Ah, yeah, because I'm one of y'all say that.
Jeff, what you got, man? What's your worst of the week, Jeff?
My worst of the week, I'm keeping in boxing. Apparently, we're probably going to get Conor McGregor versus Manny Pacquiao. If we saw exactly, guys, we don't need that. We don't need that at all. We saw how Conor looked against Floyd. Manny's probably not going to take it as easy on him as Floyd did. He's probably going to get knocked out real quick. So, yeah.
Man, needs bread, huh?
He just retired again from UFC.
Yeah,
Easy money, man. Got to get that money.
Yeah.
My worst of the week, Coach Locke mentioned it, Sabrina Ionescu, coming fresh off a 33-point game in her second WNBA game. She rolled her ankle something serious, one of those joints where the bone touched the ground on the rollover. Looked bad, man. I think that's an easy 4 to 6 week ankle roll. She won't be back to 100% for a long time. Not during this wobble season for the WNBA. Nah, man, that's 2 ankle rolls on that team, man. Kia Nurse rolled her ankle very first game. So Godspeed to Sabrina, man. Speedy recovery for sure. But that was rough to watch. That was one of those ones where I thought she broke her ankle, dog.
Me too. Like I actually, because I saw it from the side angle first, and when she went down, she grabbed. I was like, did she just tear her Achilles? I was like, oh Lord. And then they showed the other angle. I was like, oh no, she rolled the ankle, but it was bad. It was bad. That mother gonna be sore for a long time.
Yeah. Woo!
That ain't it.
Yeah, that ain't it. Stat of the week. Now, shout out to an anonymous. This person did not want to be mentioned on the show, so shout out to you.
Yeah, well, don't do it. Don't do it then. Don't do it.
Hey, we got a stat of the week, man. Paul George's earning per shot, or per shot made this season per game, is 113,000. Little Baby's features per feature is 100,000 per feature. That is the stat of the week this week.
I'd rather pay Lil Baby than Pandemic P.
Yeah. You see where that's gonna get you. You see where that's gonna get you.
I'll pay Lil Baby 100. I ain't paying Pandemic P.
Ain't no pandemic shooting going 30. Going for 30, Jeff. 30. Not 30 on 30 shots neither.
He looked good. What about James Harden the other night?
Woo! Talk about it.
30 on 30 shots, though.
James Harden had 49 last night.
Talk about it.
23 in the first quarter.
He finally shot well, Weezy. He did. He played good. We do it like that. I have no problem. Your percentage is good. I have no problems.
Somebody with missed shot, turnover, foul out in overtime, though. That's what somebody did. That's what somebody did. They went.
I was talking about Luka. That's the first game of the man. Get the hell out of here, man. Yeah, it's fine. Watch what he do. Just watch what he do.
Shot, turnover, missed shot.
James might average 40. He might average 40 in this bubble. He might average 40 points in this damn bubble.
40 points don't matter in seeding games. Get that 40 when it counts.
All right.
So while we doing that, make sure you check us out on iTunes, Facebook, IG, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, Beyond Pod, YouTube, and of course the SoundCloud page to catch up on the full archive of past episodes of FSP. How do you do that? Just search Full Sport Press Podcast. When you get through doing that, make sure you check out the On Day TV Hip Hop Podcast with Animal Brown and Spike Lee every Wednesday. That latest show is up, the No Limit Chronicles preview. you guys watch the No Limit Chronicles?
That.
I glanced at it.
Glance at it.
He glanced. Yeah, no, that was a part of my childhood, man, for sure, man. Shout out to No Limit. Growing up in the South, they were huge, man. Just to see how they were started, man. It was great to watch, man. I'm excited for next week.
They could have done with the reenactments, though. That was some slaw.
Yeah, we gonna drag them out their building. Yeah, all that bullshit, man.
I ain't gonna take the bait. Nope.
Nah, you can't. Nah, yeah, you can't take that. But Jeff, you are 100% wrong. What was it? The song you said.
Oh, Lou said that TI-24s was a bigger hit than TRU and Masterpiece. I'm About It. That's just not true.
Yeah, it is though. But Make 'Em Say is a bigger song.
The 24s.
I'm About It. There's no.
That's what Pete said. Oh, I'm the colonel of this mother.
Ah, man. Man, mute him, Jeff.
Y'all got big things. We got to be.
Press the button, man.
I ain't pressing down, dog.
All right, let's move right along, man. Fresher Than Your Average podcast, man. Featuring myself and Animal Brown, self-help fashion podcast directly related to improving everyday fashion. We have a new FTYA Friday coming up next week. Big sneaker release week this week coming up. So make sure you check us out on youtube.com/realveal. And don't forget to wear your kicks. Cop responsible. Jeff, you got 10 good wrestling seconds.
Let's do it.
Start the clock.
All right. So last week we talked about how no one really won the Sasha Banks Asuka match, so it kind of messed up our scoring for who got the W. So they had a rematch on Monday and almost had a similar outcome, but somehow Sasha Banks pulled out the win.
So we won.
No, I won.
No, I picked Sasha.
Everybody picked Sasha.
No, I win. Weezy, your score wasn't tied. DJ and Jeff was tied.
Yeah, that's it. We locking our tie. And
I picked the same thing. Ain't no way.
No.
You missed one. You missed the first match, Jay. You
missed one too.
Jeff, you didn't pick Sasha Banks. Jeff, we got to take the tape.
I'm not playing this shit no more. How about that? I'm not playing
this shit. It was me and Weezy. Me and Weezy picked Sasha. Jeff and Jay picked Asuka. And the match didn't count. So it came down to a 3-way tie with me, Jeff, and Jay. So I win because I picked Sasha.
Yeah, Jeff, you lost, so you're not playing no more either. You lost, so you're not playing no more either.
That's bullshit.
Mute your ass. You ain't going to forget to say nothing for the rest of the show.
Oh, man.
There we go. Y'all got another episode of 808s and Chair Shots, Jeff?
Episode 5 is available and iTunes is up. I believe I got the email, but we should have all other podcasting platforms going forward this week. So it's big news. And shout out to all the aunties who like wrestling on Facebook. The wrestling Facebook group will be started next week as well. So we good.
There
yeah. What was that highlight y'all posted where that man got hit in the head with a bottle and then fell through glass? What is going on?
That was the Swerve Stomp match. That was Neek's match of the week, and now it's a wrestling promotion called Lucha Underground. So, real short story. Lucha Underground is basically what wrestling has to be now because there's no crowds and stuff like that. So they were the first company to go with like cinematic matches and no crowds and stuff like that. Or like taped crowds and stuff. So that match was probably one of their most well-known matches because he fell through. But it's like stunt men though. Like so they have a way to prepare for everything and test everything out before it happens. It's still fun to watch, but yeah, that was wild.
I was like, what is going on?
Shout out to Nick for that.
Shout out to Nick. Now, tweet us with questions throughout the week at Full Sport Press. Don't forget to comment and give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down on the YouTube page, on the iTunes page. Please rate and subscribe. But more importantly, don't forget to tell a friend.
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend.
That the revolution will be podcasted. And before we get started with the first half, Weezy, do you have a yellow box of Cheerios award recipient for the listeners?
I do. This week's of Yellow Box Cheerios award recipient is Jonathan Isaac.
Jonathan Isaac, man. Throughout the first 2 days, every team that played a game knelt for the national anthem while wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt as a form of a silent protest. There was only one holdout. Jeff's guy, Orlando Magic forward Jonathan Isaac, never knelt nor wore a Black Lives Matter shirt, instead standing for the anthem while wearing his jersey. He cited gospel as the explanation during his post-game media availability. Isaac, who's an ordained minister, went on to explain that he informed his teammates of his decision in a meeting before the game started. What the hell was Jonathan Isaac thinking?
He's an ordained minister?
Yep.
Help us, don't hurt us, man. Help us, don't hurt us, man.
Yeah.
If you're an ordained minister and you got any kind of, sources, same thing, that help us, don't hurt us. And if he coming, tell him to come on. Since you're ordained minister. I mean, use your sources. If he coming, tell him to come on because we need him. And just, just kneel, man. Kneel. Everybody else is doing it. Kneel. Sit your ass down and put your fist up and kneel.
Boy, and you still hot about that tie. You came in hot with Locke because you were 2 minutes late. Now you're going off on Jonathan Isaac. Here's the thing about Jonathan Isaac. He is a promising defender in the NBA, and I think this is something that's going to jeopardize his career in the future because your teammates are going to look at you different. You got white coaches, you have brown coaches, Asian coaches. Man, everybody in the entire staff is on a knee. And you standing up speaking about gospel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just because you ordained a missionary tabernacle church somewhere, like kneel, bro.
And he didn't wear the shirt because Greg Popovich and Becky Hammond from San Antonio, they didn't kneel either, but they still wore the Black Lives Matter shirt.
Yeah,
and we know where Pop stand too. Like ain't no question where Pop stand.
Right, like he came out and let it know that he's staying with us, but. Come on, man. You don't kneel and you don't wear the shirt. Come on, man. Come on.
That's rough, man.
Drone it to him, Weezy. Drone it. Super drone.
Yeah, I might take it to my damn self.
Yeah. Oh man. Let's get started the first half, man. Let's get out. Stop it.
The first half is underway.
First half, the hottest sports news of the past week, like we do each and every week. Here at the Full Sport Press Podcast. Before we get started, I am J Ho.
It's your boy Big Jeff.
I'm your boy Weezy. What it do?
It's your man, Coach Locke.
Coach, where can they find you on social media, my brother?
Man, on Instagram and Twitter, hit me up at Locke_the_great. That's THA. Holla at me.
That's a fact. What about you, Weezy?
I'm gonna stay like Locke. I'm an FSP_Weezy on IG, and I'm at Weezy on Twitter.
The difference is you look dumb as hell.
You're right. All right, you're right.
Let me say that. Let me say you look dumb as hell. Bro, you gonna come to my house, bro.
You damn right.
What Locke can't say? Why you ain't coming look like that?
I don't know smoke, though. You want the smoke.
I do. I 100% do.
See, that's what I'm talking about, see?
Yeah. What about you, Jeff?
Man, that's funny. JE84 across all social media platforms.
Most definitely. And I'm J Hove on Instagram and Twitter, man. Find me on Twitter to have a conversation. Woo! And it's youtube.com/fullsportpress. Check us out on there. The full episode is in entirety is available on youtube.com/fullsportpress. Let's kick things off, man. First half with the NBA bubble talk. The 2019-2020 NBA season is finally back after a 4-month hiatus. Let's discuss one winner and one loser from the reopen of the 2019-20 NBA season. Jeff, you can kick things off. Smiling. What's up?
Look, I want no problems. My winner, honestly, truthfully, is NBA Twitter. I missed NBA Twitter, man. It's been fun. It's been fun to be back on NBA Twitter. Pandemic Pete is out there running wild. He's running wild. Just happy to be back, watching the jokes on the people the fans that are in the crowd. Kerry Kittles had some Wi-Fi problems the other night. Chris Bosh was in the crowd being Chris Bosh. You know what I mean? It's just fun, man. NBA Twitter's back. It's fun. I'm happy to be here. Shout out to Pandemic P. Oh yeah.
Pandemic P. my number one. He's still laughing. My number one was James Harden had 49 points last night, man. Some things just don't change. Some things just don't change, man. Bubble, don't matter if you're Houston, it don't matter. It don't matter, my boy. Some things just don't change. 49 points. And a W, too. No, he had one turnover, Jay. One. I looked it up.
One.
Westbrook had more than one.
So did Donkey.
It don't matter about James Harden. He playing the two. Your point guard can't have. I bet your point guard didn't have one. I know that.
I know the point guard for Dallas damn sure had more than one. He had more than one in overtime.
He ain't the point guard.
What? Your predominant ball handler had more than one turnover in overtime.
All right, that's for another episode, fellas. We're going to move right along. My winner are the actual players, man. And not because they back playing basketball, but because they are going to be able to play without all of the travel. You hear the players talk about how the travel takes their legs out and playing from different time zones. Everybody's going to be in the same time zone. Nobody has to get on a flight. So you're probably going to see players feel more fresh now because they don't have to worry about that. They just go right outside, go to wherever they stand on the bubble, and then come right back and play. They don't have to jump on a flight at 1 o'clock in the morning and then play a game the next night at 7 o'clock when it was just 9 o'clock at the same time because they flew across the country. So the players not having to travel is winning for me.
Thanks. My winner of the Los Angeles Lakers, man. LeBron actually played defense for the first time in 10 years. AD played great against a team that doesn't have anybody to guard him. This just kind of lets you know how the Lakers will look after LeBron only shooting 6 for 19, playing a very bad game per se as far as shooting. Man, they still beat the Clippers, the team that everybody has them as their arch nemesis, the big person that they want to meet in the conference finals. Just to see the way that AD took over that game, he's going to have to average 40 for them to beat the Clippers when they're in full strength with Trez and Sweet Wing Lou. But yeah, for sure. For sure. He dominated, man. Just to see the Lakers, man. If I'm a Lakers fan, I feel really good about going into this bubble for sure. And I think, seeing LeBron, I know listen, LeBron can't play defense and score though, y'all. So in turn, he's going to have to find a happy median to do the two because they're going to need him to get his 25, 30 points a game. And AD's just going to have to be the lead person, most definitely. What about a loser, Weezy? I kick it to you for the loser.
The loser, man, for me was the Pelicans, man, and not letting Zion finish that game. I think it cost them. The playoffs. That was dumb. This ain't no warm up right now. You got to let them play. If you want to make the playoffs, let them play. And he don't look like he lost 25 pounds either to me, so I don't know where that came from. He didn't look like it, but that's my worst.
So my loser would kind of piggyback off what Weezy said is the Pelicans for not playing Zion. Like he's clearly, your second best player right now. Probably your first. The more he rounds himself into shape, and then speaking of rounding himself into shape, his body type gets a lot of scrutiny and things like that. But if you really break it down, you put the side by side together, you can see a difference in Zion from when he first played his first game as a rookie, when he hit those 3 threes out the gate, to now. You can see a difference in his body type or in his frame. But the thing is, we want him to look like a basketball player, and I don't think that's ever going to happen. He's going to always have a wide frame and body type of more of a football wrestler type player because that's what makes him special. So the more and more we focus on that and not focus on the fact that you clearly cannot stop him on the basketball court when he's out there, we missing out on one of the best players we don't see in a long time. So that's just my take.
Well, my loser is a little out of the bubble, no pun intended. I'm going to have the NFL as a loser. This is why. We've seen the NBA take this pandemic and take the season in it and make it successful and show how they can protect the players and make this bubble work. Well, the NFL has yet to do that. So with the NBA showing how to do this and it's working, and the NFL still not coming out and saying how they're going to protect their players, it's going to be a loss on their end. We've seen a lot of NFL players opt out, and they're still opting out day to day because the NFL has not put a plan in that's going to feel protected for the players. They all saying, yeah, they want us to come back and play, but how are they going to protect us? The NBA has done it and made it work, and now the NFL is losing and falling behind because they having all these players come out and say not going to play. So I think the way the NBA did it is making the NFL a loser.
Heard you, Locke. Heard you. My loser is Zion. I think statistically he performed really well in limited action. I think if you have to find a way to play him, it's something that you're covering up. There's no reason for him to play 15 minutes. It just doesn't make any sense. And for him to be out there in that limited time, he was minus 16 the entire time he was on the floor. So plus 14 when he was off the floor. So, I mean, you're Zion Williamson. You're Mount Zion. You don't get one rebound in 15 minutes. They got to find a way to kind of use him. I've seen this happen in certain situations with older coaches kind of stuck in their ways. They got to find a way to use this generational talent and get him serious about nutrition, man. I think he has to find a way to shape his body into a way that he can be healthy. He's clearly not healthy right now. There's no way that he's playing 15 minutes and he's not healthy. Pat Bev is coming off of being in the same situation, being away from the bubble. He played 22 minutes, 23 minutes, maybe more than that. So they're hiding something. He's hurt somehow, some way. Something is wrong. Zion was mad. He spoke about it. He wanted to play more. They don't want this kid to be injured. Something is going on. They got to figure out a way, David Griffin, to do that or not. He might not get that max contract, man. I know if I was a GM, I wouldn't give him a max contract if he continuously gets hurt and is always hurt and can't find a way to get that body in the shape. And I think it's going to be a lifelong struggle. Like Jeff mentioned, he's never going to look like LeBron James. He's never going to look like, chiseled and the way that you want a star player to look. He's going to look like a tight end. But you got to find a way to fix whatever's going on because I want to see this kid play because when he's playing, he is really, really a once-in-a-generation talent. But we've seen once-in-a-generation talents come through the league and they can't play because they're always injured. And I think the weight is the reason why he's always injured, for sure.
I think they treat him like Joel Embiid, but that's for another whole another show. So we'll move on to college football. It's Weezy's wheelhouse. All right, let's start with Weezy and Jay's beloved SEC. The SEC announced this week that they're going to move to a 10-game conference-only schedule for this season. They're pushing the start back to Saturday, September 26th, which would have been roughly like week 4 of the college football season. They're going to move the SEC championship game will be pushed back to December 19th. That's going to give teams 2 open weeks to play and then have bye weeks as well. And then they also going to have 2 open games to where they are not scheduled yet. It's going to come out a little bit later as far as who they're going to play, whether it be another SEC team or they're going to double up playing the same team twice in a year, which will be crazy. Then the ACC Board of Directors also this week, they're going to have an 11-game season. They're going to start on September 12th, and they're going to include Notre Dame in the ACC this year, which was a no-brainer. Notre Dame should already be in the ACC, but whatever, that's the whole other thing. So they also, on the business side of things, get half of Notre Dame's NBC money. That's going to help the ACC as well. So, which is every major conference was making a play to get Notre Dame in their conference, especially the Big Ten and the ACC, just because of that NBC money. All ACC schools and Notre Dame are going to play 10 conference games with 1 open game, 1 non-conference game open, and they wanted to play in-state. So keep that in mind. They're going to play at least 13 weeks, have 2 bye weeks, and the ACC championship game is either going to be December 12th or December 19th. Yeah, I just covered a lot of ground there. But with all of that, do we feel like this is going to work? Number one, with this makeshift bubble that college football is doing, and do we feel like this should be an asterisk on this season because of everything that's going on?
I actually feel like it's going to change college football forever. I think that's what they're going to start doing. And now it's doing all conference scheduling. You might have one, maybe two, but probably just one out of conference game, warm up game, and then right into the fire. I think we're going to see some teams play some teams twice too, kind of like NFL does with divisions. I kind of like that. It makes it more competitive because, like, you know, when you see a team twice, you might can beat them back the second time. It gives them a little bit more game feel, gives them boys a little more of a challenge. Like Alabama just can't run off and beat. You know, they might beat Arkansas by 20 the first time, but they're not gonna beat them by 20 the second time. So I think it's gonna be a good one. That Notre Dame in the ACC conference is huge. Notre Dame's gonna be really good this year. That's if they play. But I'm also, like right now, the way baseball going, I'm nervous if they're gonna even have one down in college football or NFL. And the way they said September 26th, that's after NFL starts. NFL starts September 13th. So that's gonna be nuts to see NFL game before even college game even kicks off. So I just don't know.
Yeah, I agree, Weezy. The Notre Dame and the ACC, we know that's all about money. That was the easy call for the ACC. We can get half of this money that y'all get from this TV deal. Yes, we want it. And now you're gonna allow the ACC to be on TV even more because you're gonna be on NBC when Notre Dame is playing now. So you're gonna have an ACC team on primetime TV weekly now with Notre Dame doing this. As far as the actual games, though, I'm not gonna be surprised if we don't see any football either, because if baseball can't figure out how to keep it going and keep social distance and not have people get the COVID and cancel games, and they're far apart from each other, how is football gonna do it when you're in each other's face every down? You're practicing, you're sweating on each other, blood, everything everywhere. I just don't see how football is going to be able to make the season happen. And Big Ten, they're in an even worse situation because they just barred all 14 of their teams from opening camp. So they can't even do anything, even though other colleges and other conferences can. The Big Ten is not going to even open training camp yet. So they're really behind the eight ball.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think, 5 home games, 5 away games in the SEC. Here's the thing, man. It really does hamper the small colleges, air quote mid-major football colleges. Man, Louisiana Monroe had games against Arkansas and Georgia. That's $3.2 million in guaranteed revenue from a team that's operating the budget is way less than that, man. It's also screws teams like Florida, which is my team. Hello, we got to play you. We got to play Georgia every year. We got to play LSU every year. We also now maybe have to play Alabama now. So in turn, a team like in the ACC with a weak ass conference or in the Pac-12, it's bullshit. You get a free walk to the college football playoffs. It is a free walk for a team in the Pac-12 because you might not. If you're Arizona State, I think Arizona State is the best team in the Pac-12. They got a free walk to the damn college football playoffs because there's no competition. Every week, bro, the SEC, we fighting, man. We fighting every week. And you add Alabama to our schedule, maybe, Arkansas or something like that to a schedule, man, it's gonna be tough, man. It's not gonna be a cakewalk to get to the college football playoffs, but that's why we're the best conference in the world and usually figure out a way to win the entire thing because we are battle tested and a lot of these teams aren't. So it's gonna show in the playoffs.
Hey man, SEC fans, man, you can't boast and brag about our strength of schedule and then complain about it on the other side, man. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Overrated ass conference.
Well, speaking of football, we'll jump into the NFL. Another big time player is on the move. Who is it, you ask? Former New York Jets safety Jamal Adams has been traded to the Seattle Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks gave up 3 picks, including 2 first-rounders, 2021, 2022, and a 2021 third-round pick, and safety Bradley McDougall for the All-Pro and a 2022 fourth-round pick. Now, who won this trade, you guys? Was it the Jets? Was it the Seahawks?
I think the Seahawks won the trade simply because true enough they gave up a lot, but they're not gonna find a Jamal Adams in this draft or next draft as coming from a safety standpoint of what they need. They're not gonna find a Jamal Adams in a number 1 pick. There's not a Jamal Adams coming out in the next 2 years. So I think they won this trade, and I think it's gonna help this team out a lot. Did you know Jamal Adams lined up at linebacker this year more than he lined up at safety? I guess it's the unicorn, man. It's new thing of this NFL. Like they playing positionless. It's a positionless thing almost on like the NBA. So I think the Seahawks won.
I agree. I think the Seahawks won, but the Jets. What they got back is not too shabby. Like they, those 2 picks, all those picks, and then not being able to pay that gentleman that money, and being when you obviously in a full-fledged rebuild at this point as a Jets fan and a Jets team, so not being strapped to that contract that you're going to have to pay him, you're going to be able to rebuild with multiple number 1 picks and have assets, because that's what you need when you're a losing team. You need as many assets as you can get. And then once you have a player like that, that's you move him to get more pieces. So I think it's a great move by the Jets. The Seahawks organization again shows why they're always competitive, because when you have a quarterback like Russell Wilson, you always put as much around him as you can to make your team keep your team competitive as long as he's in his prime.
I think it's a win for both sides, man. I'm gonna call an even swap. And trade Jamal Adams, you have to get rid of him because he was going to be a locker room distraction. So in turn, you cut the bait early before he comes into training camp. He had said something about the GM. He said something about the owner, the coach. He didn't want to be there. So in turn, he made his stance, and they got rid of him. Then you add him to Seattle, and you get a Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas type of player who can play in the box, like Weezy said, or on the edge in coverage, man. And he's only 24. So you pay him that $17 million a year, Jeff, and you can figure it out, man. I'm hot that it's in our division. We're the losers of this because the 49ers got to see this dude 2 times a year. But at the end of the day, you add high-level talent to a defense that was 29th last year. Like, come on, man. It was a bad defense last year. I think he really adds some serious need to that team. And you add on Jadeveon Clowney, who's going to sign back there for a 1-year prove-it deal. Seahawks are one of the clubs, man, on his preferred trade list. It's a win for both teams.
I can't say any better. You made all the great points I was going to make. I was going to say both teams win. Like Jeff mentioned, the Seahawks, like Weezy mentioned, the Seahawks get this great player in Adams to help their defense and make them contenders, which they always are. I hate playing them. I hate they're in our division because it's always a dog fight with them, whether it's in Seattle or it's in San Francisco. So add him to the mix just makes them that much better. And then, of course, like Jeff mentioned, the Jets won too because we know they're in rebuild mode. We know that. So to get 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick, you can get great players with those picks, and you lose the cap space for somebody that you weren't going to get no way after this year because he wasn't happy, like Jay mentioned. So he was going to leave. He wasn't going to stay, or you were going to get rid of him. So why not go and get as much as you can for this player with the 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick and clear cap space when you can do it all together? So for me, this definitely was a win for both teams, which doesn't happen a lot when you see trades like this, but this is one of the ones where both teams won.
All right, before we get started with halftime, let's go back to the NBA. Tom Thibodeau is officially set to become the 30th head coach in New York Knicks history. The 2011 Coach of the Year has a winning percentage of 58%, making him one of just 12 coaches all time to have that high rate of success, over 350 wins. Tibbs has been coach for a total of 7.5 years as the head coach, 5 with the Bulls and 2.5 with the Timberwolves. During those years, he made the playoffs 6 times. He stated the Knicks were his dream job. Was this a good hire for the Knickerbockers?
I don't think so. I think Tom Thibodeau he's just not good for the NBA, man. He's a college coach coaching in the NBA. He's too hard on the boys as professionals. He makes them do suicides and shit from what I hear behind closed doors. So like I just they don't respect him. They don't want to give him a chance. And I don't know how he keeps getting chances, but I don't think it's good. New York's just a bad organization right now. Organization. Period.
I understand where Weezy's coming from, but there are certain players that need that type of coach. Like, honestly, I'm that type of player that need that type of coach. If I had an easy coach in football, I did not give my heart. I'd admit that. I knew coach wasn't gonna say nothing. But if I had a coach that was gonna be on me, and then of course I didn't play professional, but I'm just saying if I had a coach that was gonna be on me, I gave 110% at all times. Now, should every player need that? No, but some players are like that. So you got a player like Jimmy Butler. Thibodeau brought the best out of Jimmy Butler, and that's why Jimmy Butler's where he is right now. Karl Anthony Towns, they work well with Thibodeau. Wiggins, not so much. They don't have the temperament for that. But a player like an organization like the Knicks, they need a steady hand and a steady force, and I think that's what Thibodeau can bring them. Just my personal opinion.
I think it's a good hire also. We know Tibbs is a hardcore coach and he has a rep for getting his players to work hard. We know that. But the Knicks, they need a coach like this to come in and establish a winning culture. He's a winner. Everywhere he went, he won. You know, we saw what he did with Chicago. He was having Minnesota starting to win games, and because they weren't winning nothing before he got there. Even though they didn't like it, they were starting to win games. And then you got to look at their roster. You have R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, Dennis Smith Jr. They have a good young roster. And all these players played for hard-nosed coaches in college. So they're going to be able to deal with it. Dennis Smith Jr. in North Carolina State, he played for a coach like that. Julius Randle played for Calipari. He's hard-nosed. He gets in your face. He's tough on you. R.J. Barrett played at Duke. We know what Coach K does. It's all about hard work. So Tibbs is a defensive-minded coach, and we know defense wins championships. Yeah, you have the exceptions to the rule, like Golden State. Everybody sees the glamour in the offense, but those chips that Golden State won, they still played defense. It wasn't like they was just shooting all threes and then not playing no defense. They played some defense still because you had Klay Thompson locking up, you had Draymond Green locking up, you had the center on the inside to protect the paint. Now, individually, were they great defenders? No, but as a team, they played great defense. That's all that matters. When you want your team in basketball, you want them to play defense as a team. So the only thing he's going to have to do better, and hopefully he's learned from this, is he's going to have to learn how to manage his players, because overworking and overplaying your players is what leads to those things like injuries. But I think it's a good hire for New York.
Yeah, it was a terrible hire for the Knicks, and I think it has a lot to do with him and the way he coaches. He was the coach for my Bulls for 5 years, and he ran 2 of the best players in our actual franchise history into the ground. In Minnesota, he did the same thing with Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns, and also Zach LaVine. Each of them finished in the top 10 in minutes, both of his 2 seasons there. The Knicks seem to be ready to move on past a lot of their draft picks. They have the youngest team in the entire NBA. He's going to absolutely kill those kids. His coaching style does not fit in today's game. He just doesn't know how to coach young players. He needs an older team. So a team that already has some type of stability and some type of pushback. He's just going to push kids into the ground. I think this is a terrible hire, but it's normal with the Knicks. That's what they do. He's not going to switch up the way that he coaches, and he's not going to help the way that this team is actually constructed. If you go get CP, maybe go get, I don't know, another superstar that can kind of tell Tibbs, man, chill out. If not, RJ Barrett's not telling Tibbs to chill out. If they go get Melo Ball, he's not going to tell his dude to chill out. He's going to run him into the ground, and that's just not going to be a good thing for a team that's already average right around 25 years old. Come on, man. It's terrible hiring. But it's the Knicks. The Knicks gonna Knicks for sure.
But real quick, like one quick thing on this, Thibodeau is he's not going to attract no big time free agent. No big time free agent next year is going to want to come play for Tibbs. Am I the only one that thinks that?
I agree, but they have a GM that's gonna attract people. And
James Dolan sucks too.
no, the GM though is a former agent for Devin Booker, Karl Anthony Towns, a list of really good players. So I think he's gonna attract. They got World Wide West on the squad. They got Steve Stout. They're gonna get people there.
And
Tibbs ain't gonna kick people there though.
It's New York. People want to go play in New York. People want to play in Madison Square Garden. That'd be their home arena. So that alone will help get some people to that.
Even with that, though, and not to say on it too much, I think the Knicks need to focus on what they have and get out of that free agent game. Like even before hiring Tibbs, they struck out on everybody. Struck out on KD, struck out on Irvin, struck out on LeBron, struck out on everybody. Every year they strike out. Focus on your draft picks. Focus on your system, or your G League and everybody else, and build your talent up, and then you become more viable. So you bring in a coach like Tibbs that's going to get the best out of them boys or make them quit. Either you're going to play or you're going to quit, especially as a young player. Either you're going to play or you're going to quit and go somewhere else and flush out of the league. So at that point, I think that's going to help, and that's going to make them – I think that it makes the Knicks more viable to a free agent 2 years from now that's going to come free than somebody coming out this year.
Cool. You guys ready to get started with halftime?
Let's do it.
Do it.
We're at the midway point. Enjoy all of the halftime festivities.
Halftime, in case you missed it. Now, the vacant Monday Night Football announcing booth appears to be closed. ESPN is expecting to announce a 3-man Monday Night Football booth for 2020. Play-by-play will be Steve Levy. Color commentators will be Louis Riddick and Brian Greasy, both former NFL players. The network shuffled the booth after last season. Joe Tessitore and Booger McFarland handled the games of the past 2 seasons. They were also joined by Jason Witten in 2018 before he came out of retirement to rejoin the Dallas Cowboys. Now, things could change if the college football season is canceled. That suggests that the college football tandem of Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit might take over if the situation plays out. If you had to make the decision to go with the 3-man group or the college football tandem of Fowler and Herbstreit, what would you do?
I'm 10 toes down for Fowler and Herbstreit. I like them too. Sign me up for them too for Monday Night Football. Give them the big deal. Let's roll with them.
As long as it ain't Booger McFarland or Jason Witten, I'm fine. Bring Tony Kornheiser back if you got to, Dennis Miller, anybody. Just don't put Booger McFarland and Jason Witten back out there ever again.
I'm with the Herbstreit crew too, man. I like Herbstreit. I like how he breaks down stuff. He's like Romo is for college football. Romo was the NFL. He called plays out before they even happen. So I like the Herbstreit crew. I would love to see them do the NFL for sure.
Yeah, man, because they've seen a lot of these players play in college. It would be great to see them. The booth hadn't been the same since Tirico left. Let's keep it real, y'all. He's been there since 2016. Now, he's been there since 2006, all the way to 2015. He left to go to NBC, and they really haven't found their niche yet. So it's going to take a couple of things, but a replacement season with that college football tandem would be great. I would love to see it because I don't think college football is playing the game for sure.
Did Tony Romo sign his deal too early?
No.
With CBS?
No.
You ain't turning in there.
Nah, go get paid. Go get the money.
Get the money for sure.
You guys ready to get started with the second half?
Yeah, boy.
Let's do it.
The second half is underway.
Second half, the 2019-2020 NBA Awards Show. We are back, episode 328. Before we get started, I am Jay Ho.
Big Jeff.
It's your boy Weezy. What it do?
It's your man, Coach Lock.
The NBA restart is upon us, guys. The NBA announced that all awards will be based simply off the games played up until March the 11th, 2020. when the season was suspended due to COVID-19. By that point, each team has played at least 75% of their season, though, which is enough to give a sample size for the league to hand out the hardware, not to mention enough for us to go on with selecting who we think should win and compare our midseason awards to our postseason awards. Let's hand out some awards, fellas. Let's kick things off with you, Jeff. Most overrated player, who you got?
I guess I'm gonna stick with Tobias Harris, just because everything I've been saying all season. I just want more. I want more out of Tobias Harris. I think Jay sold me on him a couple of years ago. I wasn't really a big fan of his coming into the league, but Jay sold me on him, and now with my prediction of Philadelphia going to the chip, we need more from Tobias Harris, and just not getting it yet. So Tobias Harris, I need you to make this happen.
I went with Kyle Kuzma. Lakers they're trying to get this championship this year. They know what AD gonna do. They know what LeBron gonna do. But they need that third person to step up to take some of that pressure off. And they thought it was gonna be Kyle Kuzma. You've seen him do it. He averaged 18. They thought he was gonna be that third scorer that they could really count on. And he's averaging 12.5 points a game, but he's only shooting 43% from the field. They need him to play better and more consistent in order for the Lakers to make this playoff push and win this chip. If he doesn't play better than what he's playing now, I don't think the Lakers will be able to pull it off because it'll be too much on LeBron and AD by themselves. So they need Kyle Kuzma to step up.
Me, I won't overrated. My midseason pick was Hassan Whiteside. But my postseason pick, man, I hate to say it, but it's Carmelo Anthony. I think Carmelo. Has he been putting up astronomical numbers for the Portland Trailblazers?
Did you see him last night?
Are you serious?
I mean, he had a good game last night, but
he's played really well,
man. I don't think so. I don't think so. He let me down too from the hoodie Melo. I won't with Carmelo Anthony, and I'm gonna stick with
it. Cameraman, make sure you cut that clip. My most overrated player for the midseason is Kyrie Irving. Feel bad putting it for the postseason because he only played 9 games after that. But trust and believe he's overrated. My postseason prediction is Marvin Bagley, man. It's unfair, I get it. He's been genuinely just unlucky on a number of fronts. But it's not his fault that he was drafted over Luka. It's not Bagley's fault that he's been injured. And he can't play in front of Rashawn Holmes and B. Alicia. So, but here's the thing, man. He has to get on the court. He's missed 71 of a possible 146 games in his career. It doesn't matter how good you are if you can't play. And he can't play. Right now, he can't play in the bubble. He's not playing in the bubble, y'all. He's done. So in turn, they have to either make a huge decision next year. Is he a future player for the Kings? Or do you cut your losses and figure out another person to put in his spot? Because, dog, they got Fox. They have Harry Giles. They have Buddy. Buddy gonna shoot. You still got my guy Bogdanovich. They have a good piece. They need a big. Bagley was supposed to be that big, man, for sure. Let's move right along to the most underrated player. Coach Locke, you can kick this one off.
My preseason pick, I'm not preseason, I'm sorry. Midseason was Joe Ingles. But I went Brandon Ingram. People are just now starting to see what Brandon Ingram can do. He helped keep the Pelicans afloat and in contention to make that playoff run until Zion was able to play. And here they are now. They're in contention to possibly get that 8th seed. He averaged 24 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He can do it all, man. People didn't think he was going to be that player while he was in LA. It was the best thing to happen for him to get shipped out of there to New Orleans. And he's just doing it all. People are going now starting to see what he can do, and I think he's starting to get their respect, and he definitely will not be underrated after this season concludes, but I had him as most underrated player.
My mid-season pick was Lonzo Ball, and I'm sticking with Lonzo Ball. what a point guard is supposed to be. He's a steady force. He runs the offense. He doesn't turn the ball over. Smart on the court. He's your quarterback. Love to watch the kid play. That team, I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know what it is yet. But when they figure it out, I don't want to play them. I promise you that. I do not want to play them when they figure it out.
Actually, I went with Jeff on that. I took Lonzo Ball too as underrated. Lonzo Ball he's actually looking good right now at point guard for New Orleans. Honestly.
Cool. My mid-season prediction was Malcolm Brogdon. I'm going to go with Chris Middleton, though, for postseason. After signing that big extension with the Bucks, many looked at it as very questionable to pay him a max contract. Despite the criticism, he's continued to improve every year playing alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo. You lose Brogdon, it was a formidable decision. Hey, Middleton, you have to step up. And what did he do? He's averaging 21, and he's going to go 40, 50, 90 this year. Only the sixth player in NBA history to do so. It's nuts, man. That's crazy. And just to see the success that he's had, and considering the Pistons have been looking for a small forward to replace Tayshaun Prince since he's been there, and they let him and Spencer Dinwiddie walk, let you know it's a terrible organization.
Move on to coach on the hot seat. Coach Locke, who you
got? My midseason prediction was Ryan Saunders, but I'm going with Mike D'Antoni with the Houston Rockets. He has two of the best players in the league on one team, and they always have a great regular season. We know that. That's what D'Antoni does. But they never seem to get it done in the playoffs with his teams. He was already having contract negotiation issues before the season started with the front office. So, in my eyes, if the Rockets don't make it to the finals this year, I think they're going to get rid of him. Like, it ain't no Western Conference final, none of that. I believe they have to make it to the NBA Finals or Mike D'Antoni will be up out of Houston.
I second that. My midseason was Mike D'Antoni. My postseason, Mike D'Antoni. He's living and dying with James Harden, which I don't blame him. That's all he got. But he's also had help. He got Westbrook now. He had Chris Paul. He had Carmelo Anthony, and nothing worked. So they either James Harden got to shoot him into another contract, or she gonna shoot him out of another contract. One of the two. One of the two is gonna happen.
That's D'Antoni's easy money. I went with Brent Brown though. Philadelphia's got to do something. Like they've got to. Like if it doesn't work, move it. I think the smart move is moving Ben Simmons off the point. That was great. I would have done it a long time ago. So, but if he doesn't win, if they don't make it out of the East this year, he's got to go because it's him. The talent is there. They made all the front offices make all the moves. So if they don't win, it's because of the coach.
I got Jim Boylan, man. That was my mid-season pick, my postseason prediction. I pray to God every night that Jim Boylan is fired from the Chicago Bulls. He told the world that the Chicago Bulls was a playoff caliber team before we only won 22 damn games. And transparency within the media is crucial in today's game. You need a coach that needs to kind of prove that there's a method to his madness, especially when things aren't going well. And time again, he's failed to do those exact same things, man. Further failing us, putting the team in a situation where players saying that GMs don't listen, coaches don't listen, and they're unhappy. And Zach LaVine wants to go. You got Lauri Markkanen wants to go. Wendell Carter hasn't blossomed into the player that we thought he was going to be, but I knew he was going to be trash. He's a Duke player. Like, it's a lot of things that goes along with a coach, and he's not getting this team in the best situation. And he has to go, or I'm leaving.
All right. Let's move on to Defensive Player of the Year. Weezy, who you got?
My mid-season pick was Rudy Gobert. My postseason pick is Anthony Davis from the Los Angeles Lakers. Just absolutely bitch being. He looks like he's playing with like so free now because he got LeBron. You know how you just look happy and you're having fun again. That's what he looks like, and he's gonna do what he do, shoot from where he want to shoot from, and get to like attack the rim and be a rim protector. block shots, everything. I want Anthony Davis, man.
This is a two-man race between Giannis and Anthony Davis. My mid-season pick was Anthony Davis, and my postseason pick is still Anthony Davis. He's helped make the Lakers the third best defensive team in the league. He can guard on the inside. He can guard on the perimeter. His team is second in NBA in points allowed. He's third in the league with blocks of 2.4. He just can do it all, man. Like you can, if you want him to guard a center, he can guard a center because he does. He's not really a big guy, but his arm length and his wingspan can allow him to make up for that. Then if you put him on the perimeter, he can slide his feet, and then his, like I said, his wingspan is going to allow you to contest any shot that you do, even if it's a step back. So I went with Anthony Davis for Defensive Player of the Year.
I had Anthony Davis as my mid-season pick, and like Coach Locke said, I agree. It's a two-man race. I'm going to stick with Anthony Davis just because he's, and this is before the pandemic hit as well. He's allowed LeBron, he's inspired LeBron to play defense again, or at least be active. And that's something, and that's effective to the whole team at that point. So if you see Anthony Davis giving effort on both sides, you see LeBron, who's the greatest player on earth, giving effort on both sides. Now you cannot play defense at all on that team now. So I think to me it's Anthony Davis.
My midseason prediction was Anthony Davis, and I'm going to stick with that as well. It's an interesting fact about him. He's only finished in the top 3 for Defensive Player of the Year once in his career. That number's going up this year. Like Coach Locke said, top 5 in offense and defense. You got to figure out, you can't pull a situation where this dude is, you're doing pick and roll. It don't matter. He can guard your point guard, and he can guard your damn center as well. So you can't pick on him. The Defensive Player of the Year has to go to the most versatile defender in the league, and I think Anthony Davis is the perfect player for that definition. He made that team play defense. They were ranked 20th in defense before he arrived. They're top 5.
All right, let's move on to Rookie of the Year. All right, Jay, who'd you have for midseason?
Sure, most definitely. I had John Morant, and my postseason prediction is John Morant. He's only missed 6 games this season, guys. Starting other 59 throughout the season, helping them in a 8 spot when they might lose that 8 spot to Portland for sure, but it would be nearly impossible. I think this would be the most unanimous pick as far as Rookie of the Year. It's just his impact on the floor beyond his individual play made this Memphis team exponentially better. This should be unanimous. There's no question.
I also I had Zion as my mid-season, and I had John Morant as my postseason. John Morant, like everything Jay said, he's leading Memphis Grizzlies in every category pretty much. I think John Morant is just special too. He played this year. Everybody was like focused on Zion. And he came in and just did his thing, kind of like Melo did that year when LeBron article was on LeBron, and Melo did his thing that year. So I went with John Morant.
I also went with John Morant for midseason and postseason. He's led the Grizzlies to the 8th seed in the West. They were 1 win short of matching the team's win total from the previous year before the COVID hit, and they had 16 games left. So they definitely were going to improve their wins from past season. He's averaging 17.7 and 7 assists, 3.6 rebounds. He just brings an energy to that team that gets them better, and he's only going to help improve the Grizzlies in the future. So I went with Ja Morant for postseason prediction.
Zion made it fun to watch when he came back. Like he made it not close, but at least made it a conversation. But it's been Ja the entire time, and my midseason pick was Ja, and it's still Ja. Like he deserves it. Like his team is in the 8th spot right now. I'm with Jay though. I do believe they're going to lose that to the Trailblazers, which I would love to see Ja in the playoffs to do his thing. But I do think Portland's going to catch them on that, and just Portland's cooking right now. But at the end of the day, the kid is the Rookie of the Year. Zion, put up a good fight, playing limited games, but it's going to be Ja. Unanimously, too. All right, and let's move on to most improved player. Coach Locke, who you got?
My mid-season prediction pick was DeJounte Murray, but my postseason prediction is Bam Adebayo from the Miami Heat. He's increased in points, rebounds, and assists from 8.9 points to 16.2, from 7.3 rebounds to 10.5, and 2.2 assists up to 5.1. The Heat increased their wins also by 2 with 16 games remaining. They were the 10th seed last year, and they're the 4th seed this year going into the bubble. So the Miami Heat has just gotten better. Nobody saw the Heat being the 4th seed, and a lot of that has to do with Bam Adebayo, the energy he's bringing. He's helping them score, which I didn't see. I didn't see Bam being a scorer averaging 16 points in this league. So you can tell he's worked on his game, and he's continued to blossom, and he's going to help make Miami Heat organization come back and be contenders in the East.
Man, my mid-season pick was Bam Adebayo a lot for everything you just said. And Bam Adebayo will probably get this award, but I'm going to go with somebody I pick on a lot. I'll go with Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard played great. He's playing great this year. I got to give him his props. I'm hard on Dwight Howard. I say he's overrated. I call him soft, but coming off the bench, he's playing a good role with the Lakers. Averaging 3 blocks a game off the bench is great. All I need him to do. He's rebounding great, right? Pick and rolls. He's looking good. He's in shape. I don't like his hair, but he's doing good. He's doing good. I'm gonna give it to Dwight Howard.
My mid-season prediction was Devontae Graham. My postseason prediction, Jason Tatum, man. It's an argument that can be made that he was the best player in the NBA from February 1st until the league's pandemic hit. He was averaging 29 during that time, shooting 47% from the field and 47 from three. So if you look at a player like that, if he was able to maintain the momentum, playing at that level, continuing into the summer where we're at right now, Boston could be the biggest threat to Milwaukee to reach the finals out of the East, man. So Jason Tatum, I think he is a cornerstone of that team, and I hope and pray that Devin Booker finds a way to get away from Phoenix so he can get shine like Jason Tatum's going to get, for sure.
My mid-season pick was Brandon Ingram, and my postseason pick is going to be Brandon Ingram. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. By this time next year, the Spider-Man meme when they point at each other? Kevin Durant, Brandon Ingram pointing at each other. Telling you that. That's his game. That's who we're going to see. He's going to be just like Kevin Durant by this time next year. Guaranteed. Kid's special. All right, let's move on to Sixth Man of the Year. Weezy, go ahead.
Sixth Man of the Year. This should be easy. I went with my mid-season was Lou Will. I'm gonna stick with Lou Will. Mr. Barbecue, honey, lemon pepper barbecue wings. Lou Will, man. He just he's what he does off the bench. He should be a starter, I think, for anybody else. And the way that Doc Rivers lets him do his thing off the bench, and like he does it perfectly for that team. Lou Will, man, Mr. Magic City himself.
Mid-season prediction was Mr. Magic City Lou Will. And my postseason prediction is going to stay with the Clippers, but I'm going to go with Montrezl Harrell. He came in second last year in this award to Lou Will, but he's improved all his stats last year, the important ones. He's been a force on the inside, on both ends of the floor. He brings another energy to the Clippers that they need. He's getting 18.6 points a game. He's another player I never would have thought he'd average that much in the league. Montrezl Harrell is bringing the energy the Clippers need and giving them that extra defender outside of Kawhi and PG, who's taking care of the perimeter. But on the inside, he's been that defender on the inside that's allowing the Clippers to do the things they're doing. So for postseason pick, I went with Montrezl Harrell.
My midseason prediction was a co-6-man, Lou and Trez. And I'm going to go postseason prediction, Lemon Pepper Lou and Trez as well. there's no one without the two. They combine right around 45 points a game. They are insane together when they're playing. There's not one without the other. Lou doesn't play a lick of defense. Trez plays all the defense. He switches on pick and rolls. He's only 6'7", but he's guarding Anthony Davis. He's guarding Jokic. He's doing a solid job against those guys. Excellent screen setter. Montrez is having the year, and I think Lou is kind of pushing him to get six-man, but there is no team without both of them on that team, and that's the reason why I think both of them deserve it. Lemon Pepper Lou, Trez, man. He just signed a Reebok too, Jeff. That's not going to be good for him long.
I was going to touch on that Reebok deal, but you don't need. So I think the award, and my midseason pick was Lou Will. I think the award needs to be renamed the Lou Will Award, and they give it to Montrez Harrell. Like, and not to harp on one game, but if we saw the first game back from the bubble, they need Montrez Harrell. They need him bad. They need him. Of course, you need Lou Will scoring. I'm with it because Pandemic P is going to Pandemic P when it's time to count. But at the end of the day, you need a Montrez Harrell with just the glue guy to be able to do the things that no one else on the court wants to do or can, like Kawhi can. But Montrez, like you said, Jay, he's going to guard your center and your power forward and get in the head of your small forward. So yeah, give me Montrez Harrell. I go. All right. And next, Coach of the Year. Jay, who you got mid-season pick?
My mid-season pick was Eric Spoelstra. I think he was doing a good job. Then they kind of leveled out, man, past the second part of the season. So my postseason prediction is Nick Nurse, man. After seeing what he's done with the Raptors team this year, you lose Kawhi Leonard. You think, man, this team's going to be a 7, maybe 8. This team exceeded expectations in the most way, man. Second seed in the East, man. Even without a player of Kawhi Leonard's stature, it lets me know that Pascal Siakam is ready to do it. And I think Nick Nurse is the most underrated coach in the entire NBA. And I think he's coach of the year. I think he's the best coach in the NBA right now. And I would love to have him in Chicago. I know it'll never happen. But, yeah, man, the way that he holds this team down with Mark Gasol and Serge Ibaka coming off the bench, Norman Powell playing the DeMar DeRozan role on this team, it's nuts, man. He's just plugging in players and making them play, and they're playing. I think that they might find a way to sneak in and get into the finals again. It's very reasonable for that to happen.
I wish I would have went first on that one because I had the same thing Jay had. I went with Eric Spoelstra mid-season now with Nick Nurse, everything Jay just said. He's doing it without Kawhi, a superstar, without a Finals MVP, without Defensive Player of the Year. So you gotta just give him that. He making Pascal. He gonna get Pascal. He already got Pascal paid already, right? Yeah. So yeah, Nick Nurse for president. OV up.
I can't say it better. Mid-season prediction, I had Doc Rivers. Postseason, I had Nick Nurse also. For everything that Weezy and Jay mentioned, no point of me going in depth about it. You guys named everything. But the main thing was I never thought Toronto would be the second seed in the East, losing a player like Kawhi Leonard. I'm going to leave it at that.
I agree 100%. But I think, did he not win it last year too? Did Nick Nurse win it last year? Okay. So
I think Brad Stevens
say it again.
won it last year. I think Brad Stevens won last year.
You're right. Okay. All right. So then in that case, then yeah, he would get it. But if not, I'm going Eric Spoelstra just because I think Miami, with the emergence of Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler, both teams, right? No one expected Toronto to look that good. Toronto went on the winning streak right before the pandemic hit that kind of catapulted them to the second spot. They've been playing well all season, but they went on a run to get them where they are right now. But I think Miami, this is just not even. No one saw them even making the playoffs hardly. They're just being competitive. So I still would stick with Spoelstra myself. But I would not be surprised if Nick Nurse would. All right, in the major one, MVP. Weezy, start off with you.
MVP this year, man. My mid-season was LeBron James. My postseason is LeBron James. I know Giannis probably should back to back. A lot of people saying Giannis, but LeBron James, what he doing his 17th year, which I just don't haven't seen nobody do it. We got the Lakers, the number 2 spot in the West. Like considerably, like let's look at this. He had him as a top 4 seed last year before he got hurt, and he didn't have the half the help as he had this year. Then now he's top 2, and he's in 17th year. Come on, man, that's valuable. That's valuable. LeBron James, MVP.
Mid-season, I had LeBron James. Postseason, I have Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's averaging 29.6, which is third in the league, 13.7 rebounds, third in the league, 5.8 assists on 54% field goal percentage. He led his team to the best record in the league before the pandemic happened. And the thing that's setting him apart is he's doing it on both ends of the floor. He's possibly going to be one of 3 people, I believe it is, to win Defensive Player of the Year and MVP in the same year. He's doing it on both ends of the floor, and I think that's what's separating him and LeBron. LeBron is going to be in the running. You know, he's putting up numbers that are MVP numbers that is crazy in the year 17, like you mentioned, Weezy. But I think Giannis, doing the way he's doing it on both ends of the floor, is going to get him that MVP.
My midseason prediction was Anthony Davis. Unfortunately, I have to give the postseason award to LeBron James, man. So many different ways to interpret the NBA's MVP award. Some would say it should go to the best player on the best team. Some think it should go to the best player whose team needs them the most. And some would think it should go to the player who has simply shown that they are the best. And I think LeBron James has checked off all 3 of those boxes. The Bucks were 15-10 against teams that were 500 or better, which is surprisingly average for an alleged all-time great team. The Lakers finished with the best record in the league against teams 500 or better. He was the best player on arguably the best team in the league where you looked at the standings with a little bit of scrutiny. They're number 1 in the entire best conference in basketball. On top of it, one of the most incredible years for a player of his age. So, man, his presence just makes teammates better. That can't be ignored. There's no metric for that. You can't quantify the way that he makes that team better. And for him to do what he's doing at year 17, again, it's very similar to the year that Kobe Bryant had at year 17. Or not year 17, it's year 16. And I think it's a testament of how hard he's playing. I think this is the year he deserves it, man. He deserves to go out and get his 5th this year. For sure.
I agree. I think it should be LeBron, but if you're cutting the league off today, Rudy Gobert saved the world, then it's going to be Giannis. So my pick will be LeBron, but I do believe the voters will go with Giannis Antetokounmpo, unfortunately. All right, let's finish it off, and we're going to do these rapid fire. Who do we have in the Eastern Conference Finals? Let's start with you, Locke.
This season, I had 76ers and Bucks. Postseason, I'm going to go Bucks and Raptors.
Me. Mid-season, I had Philly and the Bucks. Postseason, I'm going to go Bucks and Boston.
Mid-season, I had Bucks versus Celtics. Postseason prediction, I have Raptors versus Celtics.
Mid-season, I had Philly versus Boston, and I'm doubling down. Philly versus Boston. All right, let's move to the Western Conference. Go ahead, Jay.
Mid-season, I had Lakers versus Mavericks. I'm sticking with it, man. Lakers versus Mavs.
Wow. Mid-season, I had Lakers versus Houston. And I'm going to stick with that, Lakers versus Houston. I'm going to see James Harden and LeBron go head-to-head in the finals.
Mid-season, I had Lakers and Clippers, and I'm going to stick with that for postseason, Lakers, Clippers.
Mid-season, I had Lakers, Rockets, doubling down. Lakers, Rockets. NBA Finals. Lock, who you got?
Mid-season, I had Bucks and Lakers, and I'm going to stick with that pick and go Bucks and Lakers.
I'm going to go right back with Coach Lock. I had Lakers and Bucks. And I hope it is that way because it'd be a cakewalk for my boy LeBron. It'd be Lakers and Bucks. That'd be in 5.
I have Lakers versus Raptors. Lakers winning in 6.
Rockets, Sixers.
On that note.
Come on, Jeff. With that
Oh, God.
You don't believe that.
He wants how bad he want to see his boy in the final.
They're going to get beat in the first round.
You know how much hell y'all going to catch on this show if the Rockets make the finals? Dog. But no, seriously though, I do think they can give the Lakers. They're the one team matchup wise and give the Lakers problems because they 5 out and they run.
Bro,
go ahead.
PJ Tucker is going to check Anthony Davis.
No, he's not going to check anybody. But did you see how? Okay, you see how they not saying Kristaps is Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis watches Kristaps' position. But do you see how they handled Kristaps last night? What I mean by that is
30 and 15.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, 39.
If you let Anthony Davis do what he got to do, and you put Rob Covington on LeBron, I know he's going to kill. I know.
Barbecue chicken, lemon pepper.
Listen, man. I'm telling you, because can't nobody on that team guard James Harden. Nobody on that team guard James Harden. Nobody on the Lakers can guard James Harden.
Danny Green would do a great job against him.
No, he will not. Danny Green will get cooked the entire season, the entire series. And there's nobody on that team that's going to give up the effort that Westbrook's going to give up. Nobody. Nobody's going to want to run with him every game. Nobody.
Rondo will be back.
He's not going to want to run with Russ every game. That's tough to deal with.
The difference, Jeff, is going to be if they let the Lakers do that, the Lakers are not going to piss away the lead in the end like Dallas did. Heck
no. But I'm not saying it's gonna go. I'm just saying specifically on how they deal with Anthony Davis. They know they can't deal with the inside press. They know that. We just focus on the other 4 players. That's it.
Really, what I don't want to see Portland get in that first round matchup, Portland versus Lakers. I don't want to see that.
They match up well with the Lakers too.
I don't want to see Carmelo and then Lillard against I don't want to see that.
Lakers gonna sweep them, dog. Lakers will sweep them.
Who, Portland or the Rockets?
Well, man, they'll sweep the hell out of Portland. Who in the hell is gonna check LeBron?
You're right.
They're gonna sweep. They won't sweep Portland. Portland to get one. Dame will get them one.
I don't want Dame to play in that first round. That's too much.
They'll get one.
It won't be a sweep. They'll only sweep Dallas.
Oh, they'll sweep Dallas. This is great. The NBA season is upon us. I can't wait to cut on the TV to watch more NBA basketball. Let us know about your picks. These will be posted on the Full Sport Press Instagram page. Check us out, man, on YouTube as well. Don't forget to tweet us with questions throughout the week at Full Sport Press. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down on the YouTube page, on the iTunes page. Please rate and subscribe. But more importantly, don't forget to tell a friend.
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend the NBA is back.
So Weezy.
Everything paid for, baby. I got something to say real quick.
My bad. Coach Locke.
Get a drummer song.
Jeff.
Camera's always on, brother.
So Weezy. And the revolution will be podcasted. We are out, Cameron.
Hold on. 1 second. Coach Locke. Coach Locke.
Not gonna work, Weezy.
No. This ain't the right. No, this
not gonna work, Weezy.
No, this is nothing. Listen, serious. NASA. Listen. NASA sent a rocket to Mars. You know how long it's gonna take to get there?
Oh God. How long?
No, I'm serious. This is serious.
How long, Weezy? How long is it gonna take to get there?
It's not gonna get there till February of next year. Is that not funny even? Is that not mind-boggling?
Go.
Oh man.
Let's go, man. We out. We appreciate it. Man.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Thank you for listening to the Full Sport Press podcast. To catch up on prior episodes, visit the SoundCloud page. And don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend.